been part of squads at other clubs who hopefully get an opportunity, and that they may be looking for an opportunity after they finish their time at Port Adelaide, which I think they can only be there till they're 22. They may get an opportunity at perhaps their old SANFL club or a new one and continue their career there.
Robbie Neal and John Nankivell here at Alberton Oval on the SANFL Digital Pass or SANFL Radio on the app or on the website, bringing you all the action. Round 15 just before the start. A quick tip from you, Robbie.
I'm going to tip the Magpies in this one, John. I think they'll just get over the line at home.
Yeah, leaning the same way, I think, Robbie. I think that will give it a real shake. But Port for mine. We're not too far away from a start. Umpire Schramm about to get us underway. It's going to be Laddams in the ruck for Port. They're kicking it to the northern end, or as they call it here, the Tim Evans end. Glenelg with White in the ruck kicking to the southern end. The Scott Hodges then. White won it down. Players from both sides piling over the footy. Pressure immediately applied on the ball carrier in Motlop, and the umpire will ball it up again. Secondary ball up. Right in the middle of Alberton. Again, White just winning it down. A little handball threaded out back towards Laddams. That was from Barry. Laddams handles into open space. Summerton was good. Got it up to Ira. Ira's little kick towards the wing finds Farrell. A late inclusion. Wasn't named in any of the squads we saw in the paper, but out there, Kane Farrell kicks inside 50. Getting up, knocking it down was Proud. Handball came out to Barry. He links nicely there with Pat Moore. Port working it forward now. Pat Moore back to Summerton, and Summerton's kicks is a good one, and it lands right in the lap of Johnson. Another one of the late inclusions, and he can have the first shot on goal, Robbie, from about 30 out, slightest angle.
Yeah, you'll be kicking just into a slight breeze here, John, kicking to the power headquarters end. But Glenelg probably just got caught into a situation there where they had a few going towards the ball carrier, and someone just got out the back and having a shot for goal 30 metres out.
Johnson it is, and it's just away to the right, clanging into the post it went, and the first score of the game to Port Adelaide. They're one behind. Glenelg yet to score as the Tigers will bring it back into play. High kick out towards half-back where the pack has formed. Fist on it by White, ball at ground level. About 55 from Port's goal, and the ball up will result. As we see umpire Schramm clearing a path for himself as he twirls the footy skyward. One down by Laddams from behind towards Barry. Picked up by Snelling to Hewitt, who snaps on the goals. This one across the face. Bounces out of bounds, wasn't touched. And it will be a free kick down here in the right back pocket to Costa for the Bays. Costa loads it up, brings it out towards half-back. Scott from behind took a very nice mark flying over Patmore. That was a really great grab, Robbie. It was, and he's just having to wait and settle. He had no one in front of him forward of the ball there, so he's just had to take his time and settle and assess. Just over the head of Bailey went the kick. Need was met solidly by Sharon Berg. Ball in dispute, grandstand wing, and the ump's seen enough, and good hard footy there from Need and Sharon Berg. Need not shirking the issue. Sharon Berg hit him hard but fair, what you like to see. Laddams wins it down. Hewitt took it. He's wrapped up. It's tight and tough early, as you'd expect, Robbie. Pressure good from both sides. Yeah, Pete Laddams is using his body really well in the ruck here. He's just trying to get front position there, and Jesse White just threw him out of the way, but he's been trying to get that front position and just man that space and to be able to bring his mids into the play. It's been a good duel as Snelling's kicked forward. Patmore will get it back in the 1-2 from Kluski, the lad from Sturt. Patmore's high kick inside 50. Well, player in Proud couldn't complete the mark. Opens the door for Barry to Patmore. He snaps at the goals. Johnson lurking with him, Slade. And in the end, it's rushed through by Bradley for a behind. So it's going to be Slade to take the kick in for the Tigers. Port Adelaide 2 behinds. Glenelg yet to score. Slade loads up a long kick. Did he step outside the goal square? I think that's what the umpire's inferring he did. Always a tricky one, but on that occasion, it's going to be a result in a ball up back here at the top of the goal square. Unlucky for Slade. I had binoculars on him. He wasn't out by much, Robbie. No, it was just a little bit of a no-ball call there, Johnny, but it actually would have been quite an effective kick had it been playing on there. He actually got some good penetration on it, but the umpire's closer than us, and he's made a good call. As Nicholson came through, got a handball to Proud. Glenelg another chance to clear the zone out to defensive 50. Ira couldn't take it. Gets a second opportunity now at half forward for Port. He flicks that one back to Bonner. Bonner's kick to half forward, knocked down. That was good work by Curran, but Port keep persisting. And here comes the run of Ira. Ira's kick inside 50, knocked down where the Crummers need is there. Big White gets there first, and they go out of play down in that right forward pocket in front of the bouncy castle. I think we'll find Bonner is wearing number 36 for Port Adelaide rather than his usual, what he's named in the budget as 26. So Bonner, Johnson and Farrell, late inclusions in the side. Trengove being saved up as the emergency for tomorrow, just in case for Port Adelaide. Is from the restart. Hewitt got it to Ira from 50. He bangs Port back inside. Curran knocks it down only as far as Barry. He snaps at the goal. He misses. 3 behind straight for Port. Glenelg yet to score. 5 gone first term. Inaccuracy just starting to hurt them perhaps a little bit, Robbie.
It is, but it's 5 inside 50s for Port so far, kicking into the breeze, and they've had some really good field position, John, and had some repeat entries. So just a matter of how long can Glenelg hold on for, but they need to be able to score when they've got the advantage of the breeze.
Tight and tough in the clinches. Ubergang had it, lost it. Snelling had it, lost it. Now quick kick forward for Port Adelaide. Glenelg again trying to knock it out of the danger zone. Ends with Patmore. He got it up to Need. Now a chance there. The kick smothered of Morgan. Bouncing football back out towards half forward for Port. Ira fell over at the crucial time. Opened the door for Scharenberg. He goes over the top to Bailey. Under pressure he handballs to Laddams, to Ira. Ira's awkward little kick in the end came off, found Summerton. And Port Adelaide will work it round now through Frampton to half forward, but getting up, taking good mark Nicholson at half back for Glenelg. So credit to Glenelg, as Robbie mentioned, Port have got inside 55 or 6 times, but every time Glenelg have been up to the challenges. Bailey finds space at half forward, marks at 50 for the Tigers. Waste no time, Bailey, nice kick, and Scott on the lead takes a good mark, 40 out straight in front. And he can go back at the 6-minute mark and perhaps get the first goal on the board for the Bays, Robbie.
Well, some good ball movement by Glenelg. They're able to turn it over at half back, but just with some good precise ball movement. They didn't get carried away with kicking long with the breeze. They just changed their lanes with their kicks, didn't kick over the player on the mark. And here we got Josh Scott, who the leading goal kicker in the SANFL with 29 goals at the moment, lining up from about 40 metres out.
So Scott, as Robbie said, from about 40 out straight in front, looks good off the boot. It's a goal to Scott, a goal to the Tigers. They're 1 straight 6. Port Adelaide 3 behind, 7 gone first term. And that first goal for Glenelg is thanks to Bone Timber, providing quality timber since 1919, a 5th generation family business. And you called it beautifully, Robbie. It was just good use of the ball. A couple of nice little short passes off half back, and then Scott nailed the kick. Absolutely,
and 1 entry, 1 goal, great efficiency. So, you know, Mark's starting to be really happy with that. And just for them to weather the storm for 5 minutes, a few entries, and then to actually go forward and be able to kick a goal in their first entry was excellent play.
So Glenelg get their first goal thanks to Bone Timber. Ball in the middle. Handball came out towards Bradley. His little kick towards the wing, bouncing football. Chance for the Tigers if they can gather it in. Handball came out the direction of Hawkins, a former Port Adelaide player. He chips it up, and now it's with McCarthy. So McCarthy on the wing. Kicks towards half forward, finding space all on his own was the Glenelg player there in Reynolds, another former Port player, and his kick towards the goals has resulted in another goal to the Tigers. So Glenelg get their second, 2 straight 12, Port 3 behinds, 8 minutes gone, second term. Robbie, I just put the glasses down for a minute when the kick from Reynolds came through, but the result, a goal to the Tigers.
Absolutely, and it was Brad McCarthy's kick into the corridor, which covered about 40 metres, and it just it straightened Glenelg right up, but just some space opened up in the middle of the oval there between the arcs, and they're able to use it. And then Luke Reynolds is a beautiful kick. He knows the ground well, and he just gave the kick a ride on the breeze, didn't overkick it, and another 6 points, 2 inside 50s, 2 goals. Goals
to Scott and Reynolds, the key forwards for the Tigers. They lead by 9 points. Snelling off the ground in the middle. Laddams picks it up, handball, hoping to find a teammate in Johnson. He was tackled, slung after the ball. The umpire's called holding, held without it. And Johnson goes short. This one will come off. Hewitt. Little pass inside 50, and the mark's taken by Farrell. So Farrell's got a man on the mark about 40 out straight in front. They need the quick reply, Port Adelaide.
Absolutely, and this will be a tough kick. This will be one that he's kicking right into the teeth. The breeze is blowing towards the scoreboard, so this will be a tough kick. So he needs to get it through the air quite quickly, and just to be able to combat this breeze.
Port still looking for their first goal. Farrell's kick drifts across and thumped through for a behind. Port 4 behinds. Glenelg 2 straight 12. 9.5 gone first term. And the Tigers to bring the footy back into play. It's the kick from Bradley, straight down the middle towards half-back. Ira up, knocks it down. Laddams, who's been good, got the little handball out to Tumpas. He's gang tackled to the ground by Scott and Costa. And the ball up results right on this wing position here, members wing. Umpire twirling it skyward. The big fella in Laddams again with a win in the ruck. Hawkins colliding there with Tumpas, who applies the pressure at ground level. And holding the ball is the cry from the umpire. So Tumpas gets the free. Didn't feel that the Glenelg player was doing enough to get rid of it. Tumpas's kick towards half forward, coming across. Laddams takes a good mark, left half forward, northern end. Glenelg leading by 8 points. High kick inside 50. From the side, Farrell. Very nice mark, Kane Farrell. Just from the side, you saw him itch in and pull it down. And he has a chance to line up for goal again. About 15, 20 out, pretty much straight in front.
It was well played by Peter Laddams too, John. He just got goal side of Jesse White there and was able to get free. And he was spotted by Jimmy Tumpas, and he was able to roll on quickly and kick it towards line of goal. And Port Adelaide were having another shot at goal. This is their 7th inside 50.
And they've missed again.
Farrell just missed to the left-hand side.
Yeah, just pushing to the left there for a behind. Port 5 straight behinds. Glenelg 2 straight 12. 11 gone in this first term. 7 inside 50s for 5 behinds. It's not a great reward for Port at the moment, but as Robbie has stated, and he's quite correct, there's a tricky breeze at that end. There's a chain of handballs. Scharenberg to Woolard to Motlop. Motlop back to Woolard. Woolard's kick to 50, and a good defensive mark by Ira, who's away and running. Doesn't miss a beat, this lad. Kicks towards the members' wing. Bouncing football. Picking up nicely was Strange, the former Glenelg player. Got it off to Wong. To Patmore. Now Glenelg going to step through McCarthy. Scott over the top. Handballs in front of Costa. He couldn't pick it up. Good contest here between Ubergang and Laddams at ground level. Ball came out in the end to Kluski. To Tumpas, the former Eagle and Melbourne Demon. He goes short to Summerton, who pops it up to Dom Barry, who made his debut with the Power earlier in the season. He's got Hewitt just attacking side of centre, finds that player, pops it up now towards half forward, knocked down by Need. Ginniver over the top, couldn't take it. Mead diving in to get a handball out. Barry comes in to lend some assistance, and the umpire will ball this one up.
Glenelg have been able to get the ball through the corridor quite efficiently at times, John, and in disposals it's 44-25 in favour of Port at the moment, but when Glenelg have got their hands on the ball, they've looked quite dangerous going forward.
There's Kluski from the restart, tackled strongly, holding the ball. Reynolds. There's a few former Port boys for Glenelg. Reynolds is one, Hawkins another. Sawford as well, but Reynolds has it at half back. Chips towards the wing. And the Bays have it on the lead there through shot as his kick up at 5 minutes. Ubergang kicks inside 50, and that's a nice mark. A very nice mark to Hosey. 30-35 out, the man on the mark. And I've been told he is a good grab of the footy. The first time I'm seeing young Hosey today, Lachlan Hosey, and he is a strong mark, and he showed it on that occasion.
He was a very talented underage player as well, John, Lachie Hosey, and he kicked 3 last week against the Panthers, so it's in pretty good hands. He's generally a very good, very reliable kick at goal.
So Hosey and the yellow boots underneath the scoreboard, kicking towards the southern end. It goes across the face. Out of play. No, just snuck in for a behind. So Glenelg get their first point. They go to 2-1-13. Port 5 behinds. 13.5 gone first quarter. The Maggies set to bring the footy back into play. There's not a lot on offer for Bonner, who comes out here towards half-back. Patmore there, knocked away from him to the line by McCarthy. Boundary throw-in results.
And that's a win for Port to be able to get it outside 50 from a kick out, especially kicking into a breeze, get it out of bounds, be able to reset and get some numbers and some structure around the footy.
There's going to be Frampton to do the ruck work. The big blonde from Port Adelaide up against White, who's done a fair bit of the ruck today. Won that one down. Going to bust his way through the Tigers play. Got a little handball out in the end. That was Sawford, but the umpires called for it. And he'll ball it up again at half forward. Knocked down in front of Hawkins for the Tigers. He picks it up. Little handball back to Shot. Shot's quick kick inside 50. Bounced away from Scott, but very nicely for Hosey, who snaps the goal. Lucks a fortune for the Bays. Shot's kick bouncing away from Scott, the intended target, straight into the arms of Hosey. He gets his first. Glenelg 3-1-19, Port 5 behinds, 15 gone first term. Sometimes in this game, Robbie, you get some shocking bounces for young Hosey. That was a great one. It
was an absolute ripper, and that was just a display of his talent. He's very good in and around his body. He's a very talented player with really good agility. So for the Tigers, they've had 4 shots at goal and 5 inside 50, so really good efficiency. There's their third goal. So it'll be interesting to see whether Port, it's even numbers in front of the ball at the moment, whether they end up dropping someone behind the plane and maybe getting rid of that even number look, and just see if they can actually get some control behind the ball and maybe get some possession to soak up some time.
Frampton won it down in the ruck. Klussky got a handball of sorts out. No clean possession. Someone who always somehow wins the footy. Gives it to Klussky. Port away inside 50. Good kick from Klussky. Almost a good mark down there from Davidson as he went to ground. Umpire comes in and says, I'll ball this one up. 30 out from Port Adelaide's goal. As Robbie and I have been saying, they've been inside 50 a lot in this first quarter with a great deal of reward for it. Frampton won it down. Klussky took it. He's wrapped up in the tackle. And we'll have another ball up. 3-1 plays 5 behinds in favour of the Base. 16 gone first term. You're watching us on the SANFL digital pass or listening on SANFL radio on the app or the website. As Port Adelaide from the restart. Barry's kick to the top of the square. Knocked down by Patmore. Trying to crumb it desperately. Davidson slapped it out into the arms of Farrell. Got it to Patmore. He handballed into open space. Tigers have the numbers here. Should be a chance to clear. McCarthy got it up. And now the kick out towards the outer wing, but only momentarily do they clear the zone because Toumpas has marked for Port Adelaide. As Toumpas' kick, a high ball back to the middle of the ground, will come off. Barry marking in front of Ubergang there. Barry's kick towards 50. Morgan looked like he got a pretty hefty push in the back. And Harrison Morgan will get the free for Port at centre half forward. And a chance to put the Maggies inside 50. Morgan's kick, a long one. To the top of the square where the pack has formed, bustling through White. High kick now, back towards defensive 50. Strange pulls down a very nice mark for Port Adelaide, keeping it in their zone. Jack Strange with the footy goes short, got the lead of Morgan and finds that player. So Morgan had run down after kicking it inside 50 initially. He's run down, come out on the lead, and now Harrison Morgan, in just his second game of SANFL footy, has a chance to put Port's first on the board.
Port controlled the ball really well there, and they've lowered their eyes on slow play really well, and they've been able to hit some targets inside 50. Now they need some reward for a lot of their effort, which is
they're not getting
gone unrewarded. I don't think they're going to get it on that occasion
they're
either.
Not getting it. Morgan's kick swirls away, and the Tigers take possession deep on the last line of defence through Ubergang, who kicks out to defensive 50. Again, Glenelg just working it nicely. Sawford, this is a long kick to the wing. Getting up, taking a good grab was the player in Nicholson, who kicks to half forward. Hosey's got it now. Long kick to the top of the goal. Scott there couldn't take the mark in the end, through for a rush behind, but it was a nice kick from Hosey. Point the result. Glenelg 3-2-20, Port 5 behind, should I say. 18 and a half gone first term.
And probably on about 4 or 5 occasions, John, Glenelg have been able to accelerate the game between the arcs and actually get the ball down very quickly to some deep one-on-ones. And Josh Scott was one-on-one in the goal square on that occasion there. So they're looking quite dangerous. And I'm just thinking whether it would be maybe an idea Port drop one behind the ball here just to try and shore things up, sort of leading into the quarter-time break.
As Patmore goes short. Finds a teammate there. Still at half-back, Port Adelaide. This is Wong, a former West Adelaide and Glenelg player. Simon Wong, he's away and running inside defence. 50 for Port, always dangerous. Gets it off to Finney. Chips it up, and Bonner now off a step finds Ira. And Ira plays on as he loves to do to Toumpas. He's at half-back. Jimmy Toumpas' kick into the middle of Albion Oval, marked by Davison. His kick out in front of the Port Adelaide player at half-forward, Mead, who traps it nicely. Posed to Curran. Mead's kick, right idea, looking for Johnson, but getting in the way down there. Slade taking a good defensive mark for the Tigers. He goes up to defence 50, knocked away from Reynolds. Curran got the handball over the top. In the end, the kick, attempted clearing kick there was smothered out of play. Ball in 60 metres out from Port Adelaide's goal. About at the 20-minute mark. It's Glenelg 3-2-20, Port 5 behinds. Just ready for the ball to come back into play. Ubergang and Frampton wrestling in the ruck. Frampton wins it down close to the boundary. Barry couldn't get it. Out of play, throw-in results.
Disposals at the moment, Port 74 and Glenelg 45, so they're heavily in favour of possession at the moment, Port, and they've actually played quite well, but Glenelg have just made of their chances going forward, and they've moved the ball quite quickly in between the arcs on occasions, and they've looked dangerous when they've had it, but Port are still buffering away and looking to go forward once again.
So the player spotlight is Luke Hosey, thanks there to Gliderol. Luke Hosey, the player spotlight in this first quarter, certainly being busy as Nicholson off defensive 50 after Curran took the saving mark on Port's surge forward. Nicholson's kick couldn't quite be marked by Reynolds. Bailey had a go, couldn't get a clean kick. Now Snelling to put Port back inside 50. Ball at the back of the pack. Davidson comes in, picks it up, dribbles towards the goal, just away to the right, one behind. So Port 6 behind straight, Glenelg 3-2-20, 21 gone in that first term. Just repeating the spotlight player for this quarter, Luke Hosey. And of course, Spotlight have been providing state-of-the-art garage doors. Gliderol providing state-of-the-art garage doors for over 40 years. As the ball at half forward now for Port. Glenelg have won the free kick though. It's from the kick in. It's going to go the way of Jesse White, who's been pretty good for the Tigers. He goes to them looking for Reynolds. Jennifer spoils him. Klusky mops up nicely. Gets it up to Summerton. Summerton back to Toumpas. Back to Summerton. Just over his head, close to the line. Jennifer comes in, gets a handball out to Summerton. And the youngster to the veteran as Summerton clears to half forward. But it's fisted away from Farrell and out of bounds.
We're just talking about Lockie Hosey. He's had 4 disposals. He's kicked 1 goal, 1. So he's looked dangerous when he's been up there. And one set shot, but a lovely snap just in front of the bowling green before, which took a nice little off break through for a goal.
Ball back into play as Frampton wrestling there with White. Frampton won it down. Give came out there towards Toumpas. That was from Hewitt. Toumpas' kick to 50. Patmore spoiled. Johnson kept it in play, knocking it along the boundary, still at half forward. From to clear the zone, Sharonberg. Motlop now. Hewitt tackles him, holding the ball, the cry. And they get it through Hewitt. Port Adelaide still at left half forward, northern end. Glenelg just couldn't clear the zone, and now Hewitt will do his best. Wobbly kick, and Slade gets in the way and takes a good defensive mark for the Tigers. So Glenelg repelling a lot of thrusts forward by Port Adelaide. Put a 6 behinds. Glenelg 3 goals, 2. 23 minutes gone first term as Hawkins continues to chip it round. And Glenelg have it deep in their defensive 50 arc as the kick towards half-back. Bailey's got it. Now at half-back. Bailey comes towards the members' wing. And Ubergang takes the grab right in front of the Port Adelaide interchange. The players race. Ubergang, high kick towards 50, 2-on-1. Good mark though to Scott. He just pushed off his opponent there in Bonner and took a good mark in the end. Scott going to ground at half forward. He's got 1 today already for the Tigers. Got a few options on the lead.
You left the breeze right behind him here, John. So this is actually not a bad spot to, you get a good look at, good angle at the goal here, but he'll actually have the breeze directly behind him to help carry this over the line. Right
half forward, southern end. Scott will take the shot. Motlop was on the lead, but he ignored that. And he starts it right, brings it back. It almost was going to come back enough, but at the last second, just curls back to the right through for a behind. Glenelg 3-3-21. They lead Port by 15 points. The Maggies 6 straight behinds. 24 gone first term, and Bonner will bring the ball back into play. If you're just joining us, Bonner, Johnson and Farrell all playing for Port Magpies today. With the players named in the team yesterday, Ortez and Crompton in the reserves, and Trengove we feel is being held over just in case there's any last minute dramas before tomorrow's game for the Power against GWS, as Port chipping it around quite nicely. Ira wanted it in short. Didn't happen originally, it might happen again. No, kick's taken, long one out towards half back. Getting up and in front, but unable to complete the mark was Hewitt. Bustling through Snelling, got it to Big Laddams. He handballs backwards to Wong. And now Snelling off half back, kicks down the wing. Good spoil for the Tigers, they come up with the footy now. The kick towards 50, perhaps another chance for the Bays. Scott was there, Reynolds as well, fisted away from both of them to the boundary, throw in. Right on the arc of 50 for Glenelg. As it's going to be Laddams and White, who started in the ruck for their respective sides. Standing pretty much right on the number 50 as they do their ruck work on the 50-metre ruck. White wins it down. Scharenberg was good. Got it up there to Costa under pressure. He handballed out of play. And the free will go there to Strange in the right back pocket for Port Adelaide. Just a bit of a lull in proceedings as Port looking to clear their zone. Strange goes short to Ira. And Ira still with the footy in that right back pocket area. From a South Adelaide player, Ira. Kicks out towards half back. And a good grab taken there by Hewitt, who goes short and finds Klusky. Still at half back, Port Adelaide. Klusky with the football as there is the quarter time siren. So at quarter time, it is 3-3-21 the Bays. Port 6 straight behinds in that first quarter. 6 scoring shots apiece, but it's a 15-point lead to the Tigers at the first break. The goal scorers for Glenelg was their key forwards having a field day, with Scott, Reynolds and Hosey all kicking goals for Glenelg this afternoon. In that first quarter, no goals to Port Adelaide, just the 6 behinds. Tigers by 15 points at quarter time, and Robbie Neal, an entertaining first quarter. Ball moved around either end of the ground quite quickly, but plenty of tough, hard defensive work from both sides. And yeah, as I said, quite an entertaining first term in the end between two sides. Tigers by 15 points at the first change. They had a big 144-point win in the reserves, Glenelg.
Glenelg just starting with an extra off the back edge of the square, John.
As at the restart of the middle. Start of the second quarter, White got a fingertip on it. Went to Costa. He was tackled by Summerton. That's an interesting duel there. Costa on Summerton. In fact, Costa's just run off Summerton as I say that. And Motlop has gone to Summerton. That's also an interesting duel. I like the idea of the veteran Summerton up against the young gun there, and Costa is trying to break through. Snelling couldn't go far. Another ball up to occur. Still right in the centre circle of Albion. Frampton won it down. Bouncing football. Tumpus couldn't quite take it. Neither could Hawkins for Glenelg. We get a second opportunity now as he puts them inside 50. Scott couldn't quite pick it up. Well, Adelaide a chance to clear here through Bonner back towards the wing. Bouncing football, bounced away from Need. McCarthy and Johnston collided heavily. Diving in, Nicholson grabbed the footy, wrapped up in the tackle by Need. And there'll be a ball up pretty much at half forward for Port Adelaide. Frampton won it down. Now doing some roving Big White for the Tigers. On a second opportunity, got the footy, got it out to Snoop. Throw was the call, though, against White. And the free's going to come back here and be taken for Port Adelaide by the skipper in Summerton. Right on the members when he goes short and finds Tumpus. So Port Adelaide starting to try and man an attack. Tumpus goes short, finds Frampton at half forward for Port. Glenelg applying some good pressure though, shutting down the options. Frampton long inside 50, getting up, taking a good grab. Curran though, saving the day for the Tigers. He goes over the top to Bailey. Bailey off defensive 50. Works it round nicely. And the Tigers go to the wing where Scott takes the mark for Glenelg. Wants to get the handball off to Motlop, does so. He runs through half forward, chips the ball up there looking for Ubergang. He's got 2 to beat. Former Fremantle rookie recovers, tackled, holding the ball, the call against Ubergang, and the free kick will go the way of Port Adelaide. And the tackler in Big Laddams, which illustrates a bit, Robbie, what you were saying at quarter time about the way Laddams works hard for the ground ball.
Absolutely. No, he's well at home with tracking that ground ball as well as taking overhead marks. But Port just have to be very careful, just going between the arcs here. Glenelg are dropping a player off, so they're actually letting a Port player go up the oval, get caught into some mess up the oval and dropping off and just supporting their defensive players back inside 50.
Port went to half forward. They were chopped off by Chalmers, and his kick turned over in the middle of the ground. Free kick to Port now. Johnson takes it. On the bounce, Mead got it to Hewitt. Now over the top to Snelling. Port can go inside 50, but again, Glenelg have the numbers in defence. This is Slade, who's been good for Glenelg. He chips short and finds Curran. Left back pocket, defensive 50, southern end. The veteran Curran goes back to the top of the goal square where he finds his co-captain Bradley. He chips short and finds Scharenberg. Leading possession winner for the Tigers. Scharenberg kicks to half back looking for Costa. He couldn't take it. Mead was good for Port Adelaide, kicking it back towards the pocket. Bradley there with Need goes over their heads, and Bradley will take the free kick in the left back pocket for the Tigers. Wasting no time, he goes short, and Glenelg have possession through Chalmers. Top of the defensive goal square. Comes out wide here towards half-back. Ubergang lurking. Shot. Slade there as well. Knocked towards the line. Was out of bounds on the full in the end. Just toe poked over. And the free kick against Costa, I think, will go to Tumpus at half-forward. So Tumpus's kick. Back to the top of the goal square. Knocked down. Farrell lurking for Port. Johnson got a handball out, comes to the direction of Morgan to Frampton. Mead now gets it up there towards Strange. High swirling kick back to the goals. One behind the result though. 7 straight behinds now, Port. Glenelg 3-3-21. 4.5 gone second term.
Glenelg really pushing their numbers inside defensive 50 at the moment. They're really keen on just making it really hard for Port, not having any time and space to work in, and any shot at goal is going to be highly pressured.
So Motlop from the left back pocket comes out to half back. Ubergang then knocked it down from Laddams to Frampton. The big men combine and Frampton goes short. Nice pass and Patmore takes the mark. 40 out straight in front. Patmore now to have a shot on goal for Port Adelaide. 5 minutes into the second term, still searching for their first goal. Glenelg haven't moved from their quarter-time score of 3-3-21. As Patmore will kick from probably just inside 50. The Albion crowd hushed, expectant. They want this first major. Patmore pushes it left, but brings it back very nicely. And they get their first goal, Port Adelaide, from the agency there of number 37, Jake Patmore. They're 1-7-13 Port. Glenelg 3-3-21. 5.5 gone second term. 8 points now the lead in favour of the Tigers.
Well, the lowering of the eyes by Billy Frampton there was outstanding, given the traffic that was around him, and to be able to knock it into Patmore, a nice little 16-metre kick, no one between kicker and receiver, no opportunity for any free drop-off defender to intercept it. So Port probably might need to use a little bit of that lowering of the eyes method, which they used in the first quarter, kicking with the breeze, just to combat any free defenders for Glenelg for intercept marks.
As White won the ruck, Snoop took it, was taken high. He comes towards half forward, and it's Hawkins taking the sliding mark. Hawkins kick now, inside 50. What's on for the Tigers? A big fly from the side from Reynolds, and he pulls down the mark. 45 out straight in front, or perhaps 40 out straight in front. But Reynolds, who kicked a nice one on the run with a long kick, going to have to kick a reasonably long distance here if he can get the Tigers first of the quarter and just reply that Port Adelaide goal to Patmore, as he's going to kick for probably just inside 50. Reynolds, as we mentioned, a former Port Adelaide Magpie himself. He comes in, kicks from about 45, looks good off the boot. Very nice goal to Reynolds, his second. Glenelg 4-3-27, Port 1-7-13, 7 gone second term, and Glenelg get the quick reply, and that first goal of the quarter for Glenelg is thanks to our friends at Bone Timber, providing quality timber since 1919, a fifth generation family business. And the goal there to Reynolds, his second for the afternoon, Robbie.
20 inside, 50s to 10 in favour of Port, John, and the scoreboard 14 points in favour of the Tigers at the moment. So that was a really important goal, kicking into the breeze here, and beautiful finish by Luke Reynolds, who's a fantastic kicker. A little bit of left to right, drew it back beautifully.
So back in the middle with White winning it down. He's then tackled by Laddams. Umpire says we'll ball this up. It's interesting, as we mentioned, a lot of former Port players playing for Glenelg, a few former Glenelg players at Port Adelaide as well. As from the restart, Sawford, a former Port boy at Glenelg, got it off, and the kick from shot towards half forward. Gathered in by Tumbas, little underground handball, didn't find the target. Coming through Ubergang. Couldn't get it cleanly. Frampton's handball at ground level was good to Summerton. Now Hewitt, who's been good today. Well, that was a high wobbly one. Slade showed great courage as Davidson ran towards it. It was just a good hard footy contest in the end. Understandably, Glenelg boys want to say a bit to Davison, but nothing untoward. Slade up and he's all right. Takes his kick, goes short to Snook, whose kick was almost unintentionally spotted, I think, there by Hewitt, but it'll all work. Perhaps for Port Adelaide, as Snelling trying to barge his way through. Couldn't do so. Ball fired out. Proud grabbed it for Glenelg. Little chip kick. Running back, taking the footy there was Johnson. Hands off to Tumpus. And Port Adelaide will clear out towards defensive 50 where Summerton has it. So Port Adelaide keep things moving. Barry over the top to Farrell. He's wrapped up in a great tackle by the boy from Lucendale, McCarthy, for the Tigers. Umpire comes running in and says we'll ball this one up.
That's a fantastic press from McCarthy. He read the handball really well. He knew what was happening next, and whilst the ball was in transit, he made ground, took time and space away. Fantastic tackle.
Quick kick from Nicholson, who got it from Sawford. It's Summerton though for Port Adelaide, putting them back towards half forward. Need trying to gather it in. Mead there to lend some support. Need and Mead over the footy. And the umpires found a hold of the ball. Glenelg player pinged on that occasion. Was Chalmers caught with it. Mead will take the free short pass. Klusky couldn't take it. Opens the door for Chalmers. He gets a little kick towards Reynolds at defensive 50. Wrapped up in the tackle by Patmore. Error there as well. Umpire comes in and says, my footy. Just a scrappy little kick there trying to clear the zone for the Tigers. Almost resulted in trouble, but they get away with it. There's one down by Laddams. Opens the door here for Hewitt at 50. Little give to Snelling. Snelling back to Hewitt. Hewitt onto the left boot. Snaps back at the goals. It's well wide and out of bounds on the full. 10 gone second term. Glenelg 4-3-27. Port 1-7-13. A 14-point margin in favour of Glenelg. After they led by 15 points at quarter time. It's Proud in the left back pocket. Comes out here towards Hawkins, who takes a good grab at defensive 50. Some time for settle for Glenelg as Hawkins towards half back. Hosey at the back there. Ira fists for the line. Boundary throw in the result. Interesting time in the contest, Robbie. Sort of midpoint of this second quarter. Glenelg holding sway, but Port coming at them hard.
Yeah, and when Port do get the ball 50 to 70 out, John, Glenelg are making a real conscious effort of actually dropping off opponents and protecting the inside 50 dangerous space. So that was a really good decision by Mead to go short. It's just his execution. So he actually saw the freeze inside 50 occupying space, and he just tried to use his teammate on a lead up, but just couldn't quite execute.
It was long back towards 50 for Port, marked by Nicholson to Chalmers. His kick off hands at half back. Port player ridden into the ground, Snelling. That was by Sawford. And the two nuggety little midfielders get up and resume their duel as the umpire twirls it skyward. Laddams won it down going to ground. Shot got a handball out, the former West Adelaide boy coming through. Costa couldn't pick it up. ball out the back. Handball to Toompas from Strange. High kick from Toompas towards 50. Farrell couldn't complete the mark. Nice little handball to Patmore. Gave it to Knee, but I think he threw it under pressure. He did. And so Glenelg will get the free kick. They waste no time with the short pass, finding Shot. Shot with the ball, defensive 50 for the Tigers. Goes short to Bailey. Bailey just chipping it up now towards McCarthy, and some run from the veteran Bradley. Bradley's kick to the wing, taken by Reynolds. He goes short to Nicholson. The Tigers just doing it with short passes, little handballs. Nicholson searching for Hosey, but great defensive mark by Ira. Caught behind Hosey. Took a great grab. He couldn't play on as he likes to do, but his kick was a good one. Found Summerton at half-back. He chips over the top to Toompas. Some run from Toompas. High kick to 50. Backing back then, knocking it down, Davidson. Mead trying to crumb. And he'll get a free here, I think, Jake Mead, against the Tigers. And he'll go back. He wants to play on. Good vision. And he finds Farrell on the lead. 35 out, straight in front.
He just hit that pack really fast, Jake Mead. He drew the mistake from the defender and the holding because of his speed. He engaged his attention and we drew the free kick, but lovely little kick inside to his teammate and Farrell, who's having a shot from about 30 metres out directly in front.
Farrell with the left boot, looks nice. He kicks it. He missed one from straight in front in the first quarter. Makes up for it with that goal. Port get their second. They're 2-7-13. Farrell's first. Glenelg 4-3-27. 13 and a half gone in the second term, and Port really did need that, not just for the scoreboard side of things, Robbie, but just for reward for effort. Absolutely,
and it's been tough work for the Magpies. They're certainly well in front and inside 50s and in possession, so they certainly need some scoreboard evidence to support that, and they were on that occasion. But you can see they are trying to lower their eyes. I think they're aware of Glenelg. Their slide support, Glenelg's been really good from the fat side of the oval to get back into defensive 50 to help out their defenders. So it's a really good contest that's shaping up.
Adams, Rux and Rose in the middle. I've really liked his game as he kicks back inside 50, but a great defensive mark by Proud. One of the young veterans in the Tigers, he finds another one in his number in Curran. Disciplined defenders, Proud and Curran, as Curran goes to half-back. Nice little mark and give by McCarthy. Kick from Scharenberg towards half-forward has found Motlop. Glenelg looking dangerous. Motlop puts it out in front of Scott, and he stood and waited and marked it 40 out straight in front. Too much space for a player like Josh Scott, in my opinion, Robbie.
Absolutely, but Marlon Motlop, once he got the ball, he turned quickly, face forward, turned and assessed, and he was able to hit Josh Scott with a beautiful kick. There was absolutely nothing the opposite number could do in defence, but this will be testing right from 50, kicking right into the breeze.
For his second this afternoon, the leading goal kicker in the SANFL in 2018. Scott from 50.
Beautiful kick.
Has kicked it wonderfully well. Glenelg go to 5-3-33. Port 2-7-19. 15 gone second term. Margin back out to that 14 points. And Scott and Reynolds doing some real damage up forward for the Tigers.
Absolutely, and just some key match stats. John, disposals 146 to 110 in favour of Port. Tackles 22 to 14 in favour of Port. Free kicks 10 Port, 8 Glenelg, and hit-outs 20 to Port, 10 Glenelg, and inside 50s, this is the one, 25 to 13, yet the score is 5-3 to 2-7.
As from the restart, Port looking to go forward. They do so through Snelling. High kick towards the goals, across the face in the end. Curran there, happy to take it over. Quick movement by Port. They've got it inside their 50, but only as a boundary throw-in. Down there in that right forward pocket, southern end in front of the Bowling Green crowd. Watching eagerly on here at Alberton. Laddams won it down. Needs slung in the tackle, got it out to Snelling, to Barry. Looking for Davison, intercepting there was Hawkins to Shot. And now it's going to be Proud with the high kick back out towards half-back, where it's going to be a chance for Scott the goal scorer to take it at defensive 50. Dangerous. Back looking for Proud. Farrell got in the way and pulled down the mark. That was so dangerous. And I think they're going to pay for it, the Tigers.
I just don't think Josh Scott saw him. I thought there was a free. He was able to switch the play and get some of his players to be able to lead out into space there. And that's it's an error from everyone else could see that Farrell was paired off with his direct opponent, but obviously Josh Scott didn't see that, so hence the decision that he made.
Farrell from 20 out, straight in front, kicks the goal against the Tide. It's his second for Farrell. Port go to 3-7-25, margin back to 8 points. Glenelg 5-3, 33, 17 gone, second term. A costly mistake by Scott, and what's been a very good game by him, resulting in that goal to Port Adelaide. And Farrell's been pretty good up forward. I said he missed an easy one in the first quarter, but he's kicked a couple in this term, and he's playing a definite role for Port Adelaide up forward.
Absolutely, and he's at mid-size forward, and he's got plenty of movement. He's got really good hands, and he can kick the ball really well, and that was just really good awareness in that situation to be able to take advantage of nice strong hands as well.
He's back in the middle, 8 points the margin. Glenelg over Port. Kluski had it, was tackled. He'll get a free kick though. So Kluski with a little blonde fringe chips it up to Tumpus, who's away with a long kick towards 50. At the back waiting, Chalmers couldn't complete the mark. In front for the Tigers, handball came out. Chalmers involved again, Scharenberg now. And Glenelg clear through Slade as the mark taken by Reynolds at half-back. Kicked a couple today for the Tigers, Luke Reynolds. Launches with a kick towards the wing position. Two Glenelg players in front. Scott and Shot. Scott couldn't complete the mark. Woolard got it out to Hawkins, to Reynolds, to Sawford. Now Slade to White. White to Scharenberg, to Snook. He's caught. Little kick mopped up by Frampton to Morgan for Port Adelaide. Now Mead in the middle of Albion and Oval in the blue boots. High kick to 50. It's that man again, Farrell. Good vision, takes the mark, curls the kick back. Patmore just over his head. Running interference down there. Max Proud for Glenelg. He's doing quite a good job too. Desperate stuff in defence from Proud. Hats off to him. After bustling his way through 2 or 3 Port players, he got the handball up to Chalmers, who then was tackled over the line. But great effort by Proud. Great use of the 1%ers.
Absolutely, and no possession there, but was able to get that stoppage and allow his cavalry to arrive to hopefully diffuse any attacking situation for the Magpies.
One down by White in the ruck. The aforementioned Proud went to ground, got a handball out. And now the clearing kick from Scharenberg, only momentarily. It was Port Adelaide come up with it through Davidson. He puts them back inside 50, does Davison. Right over the back of the pack. This one goes running on Mead. Couldn't quite get a boot to it. In the end, it rolled through for a behind. So it's Port 3-8-26. Glenelg 5-3-33. Time on into by 5 seconds. 20 minutes gone. As Jimmy Tumpus, the player spotlight in this second quarter for Port Adelaide. Glenelg close to the line with Woolard. He kept it in with the help of Costa. Now a chance for Hawkins with the high clearing kick. Tumpus 2 tackles, 3 marks and 1 handball in this second quarter is the player spotlight. The news is though the Tigers continuing to move it forward. Reynolds goes short, finds Hawkins. A couple of former Port boys combining. Hawkins still on this members wing, finds Slade. Nice kick inside 50. Bailey at the back. Did he get rid of his opponent? Davidson, he did. And Davidson will take the free kick. So Davidson brings it out wide to Morgan. Doesn't get a great bounce coming through there. Almost trapping it. Scharenberg. Reynolds got a handball out. Snook close to the line. Couldn't pick up the Reynolds handball. Over it goes. Boundary thrown in. Tumpus, the player spotlight, as we said, Robbie, always a busy player for the Magpies.
Yes, his ball use is really good, and he's got great speed too, Jimmy, and he's certainly a leader in amongst this group. He's had 13 possessions for the day, 11 and 2, and he's taken 4 marks as well and had a few tackles.
Frampton won it down for Port. Straight to Motlop, who got a handball out for the Tigers. No one could pick it up. Hewitt did for Port, got it to Frampton, and now Wong kicks towards the outer wing, where a great diving mark is taken out there for the Magpies. Big Laddams it was. I had to double check, but it was Big Laddams. You don't used to see a big man going to ground that well, but as we said, he does do quite nicely at ground level. Great mark. He got it up to Snelling, who was infringed. And Snelling will get the free kick. Outer wing here at Albert is tied, trailing by 8 points. 22 gone second term. Kick towards 50, off hands. Glenelg through Chalmers. Have the numbers at the back. He gets it to Scharenberg. And a chance for the base to clear. Bradley bangs it back towards halfback. Taken by Bailey. Little kick found Scott, who's got the ball outer wing here at Albert in front of the Dad's Army bar. Scott decides to just hand it off to Motlop, who kicks towards half forward. Ira getting in the way. Ricocheted off him to Nicholson, up to Scott. Scott's kick to 50, Reynolds there, spoiled at the last moment. Reynolds recovers nicely, gets past Strange, hands to Costa, gave it back to Reynolds. He was interfered with though, Reynolds, and he'll get a free, and he'll get a 25 too, because the Port player just threw it back at Reynolds while he lay on the ground. Umpire didn't like that, so that will bring Reynolds. In fact, it's going to be Costa, was the original player infringed. It brings him right to the goal line, and Costa gets the goal. I think both of them copped a push and a shove in that contest. It was Costa who copped it first, though, and he kicks the goal for Glenelg. They go to 6-3-39. Port sit there at 3 goals, 8-26. 23 gone second term. It was a bit of argy-bargy, as we said, Robbie, but in the end, Costa the free, and he gets the goal.
It is, and disposals are starting to get a little bit closer together here, John. So it's on to 163 to 148. Glenelg are just starting to use the ball, get some uncontested marks and move the ball forward. They kicked 3 goals for this quarter, which is going to be very, very important. And to hold an advantage like this going into half-time with the use of the breeze in the third quarter will be really important for the Tigers. And, I'm sure Mark Stone will be really pleased with that.
As the kick towards half forward, Johnson couldn't complete the mark. Ricocheted off hands to Proud. Proud chips it up to Nicholson at defensive 50. The Tigers doing nicely. 13 points they lead by 24 gone in this second quarter. As Nicholson goes short and finds McCarthy, as I said, the boy from Lucendale. The Glenelg players have come from that area over the years. One who springs to mind is former Carlton halfback, 4-time All-Australian Andrew Mackay. His shot takes the mark in the centre circle of Alberton. Hands it off to Hawkins. High kick from half forward. Wrestling going on with Ira and Hosey. And Ira gives away the free kick. Port fans not happy, but I feel it was there. Hosey has it. 25 out straight in front.
Well, the kick into the corridor to Tom Schott was outstanding. Schott actually came from the interchange bench whilst the ball was out on the far side and in heavy traffic. And from the held ball, the kick was able to find him in the centre of the ground. It opened up this near side of the oval, and hence an inside 50 that was fast, engaged the defender's mistake, and Hosey has a shot at goal. Easy footy.
Hosey, 25 out straight in front, gets his second. All the key forwards at Glenelg, Hosey, Reynolds and Scott each have 2. And Glenelg are out to a 19-point lead, 7-3-45. Port 3-8-26, 25 and a half gone second term. And Port are working hard, they're challenging, but Glenelg are up to every challenge at the moment as Hosey gets his second, and the Tigers looking good as we close in on half-time.
There's a term that's sort of used around footy clubs called eyes alive, and sometimes the player that comes off the interchange bench is your most dangerous, especially if everyone is caught staring at the kicker and not observing what's off the ball. You can get a situation like that, and it's being very efficient. I think it took 2 disposals to get it inside 50 to have a shot at goal, and Glenelg will kick their 4th for the quarter.
Ubergang, rucking and roving, went to Hawkins. He was infringed, got the free, found Schott at half forward. Not a great kick from Schott. Barry getting back there, but he was robbed by Hosey. Little dribbler kick inside 50. Strong take by Nicholson. Snaps a goal for the Tigers. Nicholson just hit that ball like he wanted it, grabbed it out the air and snaps through his first. Glenelg's ninth there, 9-3-51 the Tigers. Port 3-8-26, 26 and a half gone. Just a couple of mentions to a couple of players in that piece of play. Hawkins on the wing, he's been good this game for the Tigers. Just bobs up, gets the footy, pushes it forward sort of in a linkman's role, but Nicholson, a quiet achiever, great attack on the footy and great goal.
Well, Hawkins has had 14 disposals and Scharenberg's had 12, Nicholson 11 and Chalmers and Shot 11 and 10 respectively. So they're just evening up the ledger there. They're getting their hands on the footy now, Glenelg, but they've been using it so efficiently. That's been the impressive thing for them, and it's showing on the scoreboard.
Sutherland inside 50, but again Slade will rebound for the Tigers. He pops it up and finds the goal scorer Nicholson, left half back, southern end. Happy just to take a breather, not too far away from half time. The Bays in command here by 25 points, as game high 25 points, as the ball on the wing here. A nice mark by Reynolds. Reynolds kicks towards half forward for Glenelg, getting up there Strange. Fists to the boundary. It didn't actually go out, but the siren beat them all, and that is half time here at Alberton. And at the main break, it is the Tigers by a game high 25 points. Glenelg 8-3-51, Port 3-8-26, 11 scoring shots apiece, but you can actually reverse those scoring shots.
Every week.
As 11 scoring shots apiece, but it's a 25-point lead to Glenelg. We'll just get you those goal scorers for Glenelg, thanks to Telstra store at Glenelg, your local store for all your tech needs. It's 2 to Reynolds, 2 to Scott, 2 to Hosey, singles then to Costa and Nicholson, while for Port Adelaide, their goals have been scored, 2 to Farrell and 1 to Patmore, all coming in that quarter. And the Port coaching staff not over the moon as they came down the steps with some of the umpiring they saw. I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, mate, but I'll say it first. I haven't had a problem with the umpires. Maybe I'm missing something. But...
No, I think coaches certainly see things in probably a more magnified view, I suppose, and having been in a coach's box before, it seems to get that situation, and sometimes it's just a level of frustration where you've invested so much effort, and I think your players have played really well, and I think Port have played quite well for this match, and it's been a situation where it's 3-8, 8-3, so it's just the flip side there in terms of efficiency, but so sometimes you're looking for perhaps other avenues of why are things why they are. Is it an umpiring situation, or really do I just have to hit your targets? And Port provided those opportunities for their forwards in the first quarter, but just couldn't quite register in the goal column. But no, they'll certainly continue to back there. Both teams have played quite well, and we discussed that, haven't it? So I mean, it's 11 scoring shots apiece. One team is converted and converted their chances into maximum. The others is kicked behinds, unfortunately. So this will be a really important quarter, and Port need to be within a goal, or hopefully leading for their sake at three-quarter time.
Underway in the second half. Laddams winning it down against White. White at ground level couldn't pick it up. Big Laddams did for the Magpies. He was tackled to ground, and the ball up will result slightly on the attacking side of centre for the Tigers. As one down by White, Hewitt took it. He was tackled to ground by McCarthy. Another good tackle applied on Klusky, and that was some good work from the Tigers there, as they just keep the ball in the middle. Now a chance for Port to break. Hewitt got it off to Snelling. Snelling's little chip kick over the head of Patmore, picked up here by Scharenberg to McCarthy to Nicholson. Little handball back to Scharenberg. Now Shot. It was good in that second quarter for the Tigers. Long kick inside 50 in front. Hosey just spoiled at the last second. Handball came out from Strange for Port Adelaide. Free kick advantage paid. Ginniver away and running for Port Adelaide. High kick to the middle of the ground. Johnson, and it fisted away from him. Coming through there, Nicholson. Handball under pressure to Klusky. He's away for Port Adelaide. They go to 50, but getting in the way, Proud. And Proud chips short. And Glenelg a chance now to clear through Bradley. So early doors in this second half, but it's a bit of a battle of the half-backs at the moment as Bradley goes to Slade. Kicks out there looking for Curran, goes over he and Tumpus's heads. Tumpus got the handball up there to Summerton, back to Tumpus. Little chip kick towards Patmore in the middle of the ground. Sat and waited for it. Now the pressure on from Nicholson. It's a handball out to Reynolds. He's wrapped up by Bonner. And the umpire says we'll ball it up. Half forward for the Tigers. Almost 2 minutes gone in this third quarter. No addition to the halftime score. Still 25 points the lead to the Tigers. As coming away with it there was Summerton from the restart. He found Frampton. Got the little handoff to Snelling. Snelling's kick inside 50 is a good one. And Morgan takes the mark for Port. Harrison Morgan wanted to play on. Now just will go back and take the shot. Doesn't appear overly confident. Man on the mark about 40 metres out. Morgan will kick from just inside 50. From about 45 in the end. Morgan's kick towards the goals. We didn't look particularly confident, but he's kicked it very, very nicely as Harrison Morgan. And Port get their first of the second half. They go to 4-8-32. Glenelg 8-3-51. 2.5 gone third term. And that was the perfect start for the Maggies.
Absolutely, and it's just their ball use again and going inside 50, very efficient. But on this occasion, they're able to get the full quota for their effort. So a really good start for the Magpies, and I'm sure Matty Loken will just be sort of hitting the repeat button probably 5 or 6 times, hopefully over the next 15 minutes for his sake. But Glenelg just need to keep hanging tough and continue to compete, tackle and harass like they've been doing so far.
Back in the middle, Laddams won it down. White again took it. Again wrapped up by Summerton, who was terrier-like as he brought Big White down. From the restart, third man up there was Nicholson, fisting it towards forward. Bailey, little soccer kick out towards Shot, back towards Snook. He was tackled on that occasion by Klusky. Free kick, Port advantage paid. Tumpus away and running, got it off to Bonner. He's played mainly on that last line of defence for Port. He goes short to Hewitt, who was good in the first quarter. Hewitt at half forward. High ball inside 50. Scharenberg was interfered with as he went for that mark, and now it's on. The Bay players come in to remonstrate with Johnson. The umpire says, we'll give you a 25, Jonty, and we'll just keep the play going as he brings him to half back. And the play continues as Scharenberg kicks towards the outer wing where he's got Proud sitting and waiting for him. Proud now with the kick towards 50, and a diving grab's taken by Hosey. So Hosey kicked 2 goals in the first half, wants to get on with things. 55 out, high kick to the top of the goal square. Ubergang, too strong on that occasion for his opponent in Geneva, and Ubergang can go back and line up for goal from Glenelg and get the quick reply.
Well, the high ball coming in from Lockie Hosey there, and Ubergang was favoured by the kick, but he was able just to be able to lean on Geneva and just keep the drop zone available to him to be able to push off and take that mark. So he's got the breeze directly behind him. He's only about 15 metres out, so shouldn't have any trouble with this. Former
Fremantle rookie list player, he kicks it nicely, does Ubergang, and Glenelg do get that reply. They go to 9-3-57, their first score of the half. Port 4-8-32. 5 minutes gone third quarter, and every time Port have scored a goal throughout the afternoon, Robbie, Glenelg have found a way to reply, and they do it again.
Absolutely, but what an effort by Johnny Scharenberg getting back in defence there and putting his body on the line and taking a hit, and then whilst I think about 14 players decided to box on a little bit, and he actually took the advantage, was able to switch it out to the other side of the oval, open up an avenue for Hosey to pump it long and get a goal via Ubergang.
Back in the middle, White won it down, Sorfer got it to Motlop to Snook. Glenelg, high kick towards half forward, caught behind Hosey, grabbed the ball, little kick through, offhand Scott, taken well in the tackle by Ira. Umpire comes in and says, I'll ball it up. I notice they've played Ira for most of the day sort of as a small defender down there inside the defensive 50 arc. It's interesting to see him played in that role, put in a role he's particularly used to, Emmanuel Ira.
He played quite a bit there, even in his South Adelaide days. He played mainly as a mid and sometimes forward, but certainly in his league career, he's played mainly off half back to be able to use his dash, and he's actually reasonably good kick, so he gives you good distribution.
As Port are away from the free kick, Tumpus found Patmore. He goes inside 50 with a lovely kick and finds Frampton. And Frampton will go back from the top of the goals. and line up for Port Adelaide to get another goal in this term. Will be their 5th. And Frampton, good strong target up forward. They're just too tall, too strong. And Port continue to just goal for goal early in the second half if Frampton's successful from here.
He's been impressive, Frampton. I've really liked his game today. He can move.
So Frampton, 200 centimetres of him, should not miss from here, and kicks the goal. So Port Adelaide go to 5-8-38, Glenelg 9-3-57, 7 gone third term. And we got quite excited by that Ubergang goal earlier, and that was, of course, thanks to Bone Timber, providing quality timber since 1919, a 5th-generation family business. That was Ubergang's goal for the Tigers, but Port's goal there to Frampton, very impressive. And yeah, just looks like he's got all the goods to make it at AFL level. Frampton just perhaps needs a little bit more time in the SANFL to work on his game, but he's getting close.
Absolutely. The kick from Patmore was outstanding to his advantage. He was able to get goal side of his opponent going forward, Frampton, and he kicked through. He was really good play. Need 2 in a row, Port.
They mightn't get it though, as Glenelg break from the middle, shots, kick inside, 50 at the back, Tumpus mops up nicely, tackled well by Scott. Great tackle by Scott. And keeping the ball inside 50 for Glenelg.
It's a great tackle by Scott because Tumpus had the release and Ginniver out the back, and he was just able to hold it in. It was fantastic.
Hosey went up in the ruck, won it down. It's Barry who'll come away with it. His kick to Nicholson, spoiled by Johnson. Johnson this way, that way, gets the handball out to Snelling. Port a chance now, Snelling to Summerton, bangs it on the boot. Bounces over the head of Frampton, who went to ground, opens the door for the Tigers. Off a step, White. High kick to 50. Good grab taken down there by Hosey. He's a very exciting player to watch. Great pair of hands and very agile.
And what was impressive there, just that exit with Port Adelaide, Johnson had the ball, showed great agility, got a beautiful handball away, but Tommy Shott is giving him a big bumper bar to stop him making a 2v1 down the ground, and Glenelg were able to turn it over and then have a return shot to Hosey. It was fantastic play.
Well spotted as Hosey kicks the goal. So Hosey gets his 3rd, and Glenelg respond. They go to 10-3-63, Port 5-8-38, 9 gone third term. It was a great observation there, Robbie, because it just stopped, as you said, it just stopped Johnson being able to get downfield, and as a result, the turnover, and Hosey makes them really play with a goal.
Well, with his speed and agility, they would have been able to carry the ball between the arcs there and really put Glenelg's defence under pressure, but Tommy Shott stopping that run was absolutely vital in Glenelg being able to turn the ball over between the arcs, go back the other way to Hosey, then to be able to kick a goal. And they'll certainly become on the highlights reel during the week.
It's back in the middle. It's goal for goal at the moment as Summerton high kick towards the outer wing. Knocked away from Mitch Mead. Taken by McCarthy, who's tackled to ground. The Glenelg player tackled to ground by Hewitt. And the umpire will ball it up slightly on attacking centre for side of centre for Port Adelaide on that outer wing. Frampton up in the ruck, wins it down. It was Bailey with the kick towards half forward. Ubergang there with Finney, and they see it over the line for a throw in half forward for the Bays. Back out to that game high 25-point half-time lead that Glenelg held. 2 goals apiece in this quarter so far, as White and Frampton wrestling in the ruck. No clear winner. Frampton in the end got a handball out to Tumpus. He's run down. Holding the ball is the call, and Glenelg will get the free here through Sawford. Waste no time handing it off to Motlop. Motlop's kick inside 50. Scott couldn't quite complete it. Almost a great grab. Handballed out to Bailey. Ground level, Ira did well. Here's some of his pace. From defensive 50, goes short, misses the target. White there to mop up for the Tigers. Goes backwards to go forwards to the ever-reliable Proud, who kicks all the way back to half-back and finds Curran. Curran with the handball over the top to Chalmers. Gets away from Need. Does Chalmers' short kick will come off. Finds Nicholson. Nicholson high kick inside 50. Scott was up again, couldn't take it. Ubergang there. Finney tackled him. Ball goes over the line. Throw in right forward pocket. Some great skills on display in that passage of play, but some wonderful pressure again from both sides.
Absolutely, and I've been impressed with Glenelg's forward setup. They've been able to get one-on-ones, but also separate Port's defenders as well. So it's given them some really good avenues to be able to lead into and get those one-on-one opportunities against their direct opponent.
Hosey won it down to Hawkins, handball to Costi, took it on the bounce, tackled, got the handball out, running back there, able to pick it up, Hawkins for the Tigers. Bradley trying to take control of half-back through Mead. He's tackled to ground, and the umpire will ball it up. We've gone 12 minutes in this third quarter. It's the Tigers by 25 points. As I said, that's the half-time lead. As Stewart at half-back tackled, dispossessed. Wong got it up to Bonner. Bonner to Kluski. And Kluski handballs out in front of Wong. And he goes short and finds Patmore on this members' wing. It's a bit grey here all of a sudden at Alberton. Maybe some rain about as Bonner has it. Still on the clubroom wing, he goes short towards half forward where Wong's made space. Port building something. It's Patmore now with it at half forward. Still a long way from goal. Patmore head up, looking for any opportunities to pass off. He goes with the kick towards the pack now. Laddams is there, but it's Glenelg outnumbering about 3 or 4 to 1, and Curran takes the mark. As Curran chips it up and finds Slade. Solid defender for the Tigers. Slade goes short, and now it's Bradley. Bradley just chips it off to Motlop. Still at about defensive 50 left half back. Marlon Motlop for the Tigers. Right in front of the Alan Scott Power headquarters. Long kick, Motlop towards the wing. The back over everyone's head. Strange recovers first for Port Adelaide. He shrugs the tackler. It's a handball off. Toumpas did well. Davidson now in some space on the outer wing. Chips it up and finds Wong right in the middle of Alberton Oval. Plays on now. He's got support from Somerton. Little chip kick finds Stewart at half forward. So Port again with the short passes working something as Somerton drops what he should have taken. Slade comes in, takes it, tackled, dispossessed by Somerton, holding the ball. Great recovery from Somerton after his earlier fumble. Great second effort. He kicks a long ball to the goal square. Curran up, couldn't take the mark. Diving in over the footy there was Morgan. Appealing for holding the ball are the Glenelg defenders. And they'll get it, and Snook will get the free as he chips it short and finds White in the left back pocket. Opportunity perhaps going begging for Port.
Just felt Steve Stummer perhaps just taking his time there on that next kick in. He kicked a high ball in, which was sort of intercepted there by Glenelg's defence. If he just delayed that a little bit longer and looked for that little short kick, I think they would have had another shot at goal.
As Barry inside 50, Frampton wrestling with Snook. Frampton's going to get the free kick here. Snook tried to shut him down, but in the end, Frampton's just too big and too strong, forcing the Glenelg player to infringe. And Frampton, who's kicked a goal already in this term, will line up from a lot further out. He was straight in front for the first one. He's about 40 out here, but important kick nonetheless. 15 gone third term. Glenelg still with a healthy 25-point lead.
Similar position to Josh Scott, I think, in the second quarter, and he hit the back fence. So
Frampton goes at it. Probably
right.
Gives up a bit of accuracy for distance away to the right, one behind the result. So 10-3-63 plays 5-9-39. 15 and a half gone third quarter. Glenelg wasting no time bringing the footy back into play. They have it inside their defensive 50 with Nicholson. Nicholson's kick out towards the outer wing, off hands. Motlop was good, got it up to Curran, to Reynolds, back to Curran. He's got Shot or White at defensive 50. White takes the mark. And White chips it up towards Chalmers now. Still at defensive 50. Glenelg looking to clear. High ball, puts the pressure on Nicholson. On Shot it was, pardon me. Good little knockdown to Scharenberg. Scharenberg high kick to half forward. This might come off for the Bays, as McCarthy's got it 55 from goal. McCarthy whirls around, 2-on-2 contest. Hosey flew high at the back. Bailey, can he get a toe to it? He can't, and in the end, it's through for a rush behind. Glenelg 10-4-64, Port 5-9-39. 16.5 gone third term as it's brought back into play by Tumpus, but he shanked it high, wide and handsome. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick will go the way of the Bays through Slade, who wastes no time, goes short and finds McCarthy. An opportunity for the Tigers.
There was some sloppy defending there by Port, just on the short 45 there. So McCarthy, who kicked an absolute cracking pass in the first quarter, which resulted into a Glenelg goal. So he's very good at executing the kicking part of his game. This will be Breeze right behind him again.
So McCarthy from right on 50. Oh, that was an ordinary one. Wobbled up towards the top of the goals. Scott flew high. Port should clear. Ginniver's kick smothered though by Nicholson. Got the handball to Reynolds. His kick at goal across the face. Bounces once out of play. And Tumpus will get the free kick in the left back pocket. So the error's just creeping in there for both sides as Tumpus goes short. Finds Frampton, who gives it up to Wong. Wong chips short. And Port have it still deep in defence. The little short pass finds Farrell. Farrell back here towards Bonner. And Bonner goes short to half back, and now Wong with a high kick towards the wing. Again, Glenelg though, the stumbling block crowd. He's been very good. Probably not a lot of touches, but has done some very good things in defence. He finds Snook, who kicks up to half back where Bradley's got it. Handballs over the top to Curran. Curran's little give to Nicholson. Glenelg building as they go to 50. In front, Strange couldn't complete the mark. Ground level, Klusky was good. And now it's Hewitt at defensive 50 who goes short to Wong. Again, the half-back lines of both sides prominent at the moment, Robbie Neal.
Yeah, that's right. And Glenelg are defending really well. Their ability to be able to slide and support across the oval, run really good angles, has made it really difficult for Port.
As here's a turnover now. It was Finney who kicked it to Slade, to Scott, and Scott off a step from 50, bangs through the goal, and that's going to hurt Port Adelaide. Glenelg go to 11-4-70, Port 5-9-39, a game-high 31-point lead, 19.5 gone in this third quarter, and the chipping around, we saw it happening, and then Finney it was, chipped it straight into the arms of Slade, who found Scott, and Scott on the run from 50 rarely misses.
Now Glenelg is really alert off the ball, John, so, you know, even a kick away from the ball carrier, you know, they're working really hard to slide and support each other, getting behind, and so if Port Adelaide are slow with their ball movement, they end up having to combat almost 18 players who are working hard defensively and getting ready to rebound in transition, as we just saw there with that goal there to Josh Scott. Fantastic play by the Tigers.
White wins it down. Salford was tackled, got it out to Snook. Quick kick inside, 50, bouncing ball. Reynolds is there. Ginniver though gets to the footy first. Good tackle, Reynolds. Brings Ginniver to ground. Holding the ball was the cry. And that is the result they'll get. So Reynolds can have a shot for goal here if he so pleases. Tucked around in the right forward pocket.
Favour his left leg here, John. I reckon he's going to come around on a little bit of an arc. He's got the Breeze directly behind him, so he's in a pretty good spot.
So Reynolds tucked around in front of that bowling green pocket. The hotspot player in this term is Simon Wong. For Port Adelaide, it's Reynolds. Kicks and kicks. Right to the line. It was touched right on the line. It was a wonderful kick otherwise, but touched through for a behind. So Glenelg edged further in front by 32 points, 11-5-71, 5-9-39. Almost 21 gone in this third term. And Simon Wong, who has been busy for Port Adelaide, the spotlight player this term, as the kick from Hewitt was marked there by Farrell at defensive 50. He chips it up to Tumpus. Tumpus goes to the left back pocket and finds Strange. Strange goes short to Ginniver. And Ginniver with the footy for Port Adelaide. Let's get Robbie in a sec to get us Simon Wong stats there for the game so far.
Yeah, he's had 12 disposals so far, playing mainly on a wing, John. So he's had 8 kicks, 4 handballs, 7 marks, and spending most of his time as an outside mid.
as Summerton found Laddams on the members' wing. Glenelg by 31 points. Port need a couple into time on in this third quarter. Patmore's got it. There's not a lot on offer, as we mentioned how good Glenelg's defence has been today. They're just shutting down all options. I think there's going to be a holding off the ball here, and it's going against Mead, and it's coming the way of Curran. So again, Glenelg's defence will rebound as Curran goes short and finds Woolard. Woolard now with a little chip kick up towards half-back. Shot has it. Hands it off to some run from Bradley. Bradley's kick towards 50. Motlop just working off the back of his opponent. Picks it up underneath the scoreboard. Check side kick back at the goals from Motlop across the face. Through for a behind. Did it so lackadaisically, so easily, Motlop, and he missed in the end, but it was just such great skill. Glenelg 11-6-72, Port 5-9-39. 22 and a half gone, third term. Tumpus has got it in the right back pocket. We'll go short and find Snelling. Glenelg doing enough at the moment, but still a quarter and a bit of footy to play as the kick knocked out of bounds by Shot away from Hewitt. Throw-in result. Ball kept at half forward for the Bay. Still time if they're good enough to get another goal. It's going to be Laddams and White at the ruck. They had a great duel this afternoon. Laddams just knocking that one down. Taken by Kluski for Port. Spun round in the tackle. Got it out there to Wong, who almost had to throw it out to Summerton. And now Port have it through Hewitt. 60 from their defensive goal. Hewitt goes short. Oh, getting up Proud. I really liked his game today. Takes a good mark at half forward. Max Proud, high kick back inside 50. Off the hands of the players, and did it go through from behind? No, just to the left of the behind post. So a throw-in will result. But again, Max Proud so important for the Tigers, just stopping Port's thrust, putting Glenelg back inside 50, which is where they want to be. As the umpire prepares to throw the footy back into play. White and Scott in the ruck. White won it down. Scott trying to run on and crumb it. Couldn't quite pick it up. Players dive in on him. His opposing ruckman there, Laddams. Pressuring Scott at ground level. The umpire balls it up. Top of the goal square. Laddams thumps it down only as far as Reynolds. It's a handball out. Back towards Costa. Can Scott trap it? He can. Ira tackles him well though. Scott got a handball out. And a chance for Port to clear as Johnson gave to Tumpus. But Bailey got in the way and intercepted an errant handball, and he's been taken high. So just as Port thought they were out, Bailey cops a high one, and Glenelg will get a shot on goal and a 25. And that'll make it a certainty. So ill discipline on the cusp of three-quarter time won't please coach Matty Locken. Bailey from point-blank range kicks the goal. Glenelg go out to a 39-point lead. 12-6-78, Port 5-9-39, 25 gone, and in this third quarter, an ill discipline, as I mentioned, has put Glenelg in a very strong position heading into three-quarter time.
And the Bays have just demonstrated how they value their inside 50, so they had some stoppages there and some repeat stoppages, and when Port try to exit via their numbers, they're all over them, and it was a fantastic bit of pressure there from Bailey, who's been really active up there today and has been fantastic. He's playing mainly as a permanent forward, but the pressure's been outstanding, and they've been rewarded, Glenelg. They've been really, really impressive.
From the restart, little handball came out from Hewitt, and we'll have a secondary ball up. Play at the bottom of the pack there. Shots been very good for the Tigers today. Umpire twirls at Skyward. Up in the ruck, Slade fisting it down. Bailey goes off the ground, not far. Strange trapped it at half forward, got it back to Tumpus. High kick, doesn't find the target though. Kluski comes in, takes it nicely. Gets a little kick away towards the wing. Finds Davidson. Davidson down the wing. Nice looking kick there for Mead. Woolard spoils him. 26 gone, third quarter, and the siren sounds for three-quarter time. And it was a good quarter in the end for the Bays as they take a game-high 39-point lead to the final change. Glenelg 12-6-78, Port 5-9-39. They've doubled the Port Adelaide score at three-quarter time, have the Tigers. As we look at the goal scorers for the two sides at the final change, starting off with the home side, Port Adelaide. Their goal scorers to three-quarter time, we see 2 to Farrell, singles to Frampton, and
quality of the ball use going forward. So anything can happen in this last quarter. I mean, I was at a game last week where one team kicked 13 goals, 1 to 1 point in the last quarter, and won by 9 goals, being 4 goals down at three-quarter time. So,
and I was very jealous that you were at that game.
I was there. No, the Red Leagues did well, and they backed it up with a terrific effort against West Adelaide last night. So Jared Cotton's got those guys rolling. Hey, could we see something similar here? Well, we've got 28 minutes to see what happens.
Underway, final quarter here at Alberton. Frampton in the ruck for Port Adelaide against White for Glenelg. White just winning it down. Lusky head over the footy, trying to get a handball out, didn't go far. Real scrimmage in the middle. Again, pressure good from both sides as it has been throughout the day. Nicholson in the end breaks free with a handball straight to Klusky. High up and under kick towards the outer wing. Hewitt almost took the mark. And now the pressure applied there by Chalmers, wrapping up the Port play. The ball spilled out the back. And now a chance for Port as Klusky off to Toumpas. Toumpas towards half forward. Need running to 50. Couldn't quite take the mark. Slade's come through. Hands off to Nicholson, to Sawford. And now some run from Woolard off half back. Was good to Costa. Costa's little handball over the top to Snook. Snook goes to half forward. Nice kick, and Hosey marks in front of Geneva. Plays on. Hosey's kick. Running back, Ubergang there. Bouncing ball. Ira gets there first. Scott, great take though. Tackled hard, got a handball out, and in the end, Port did the disciplined thing and rushed the behind. So it's a 40-point lead to the Tigers. Early doors, final quarter. Bonner plays on to himself and now comes charging out of fullback. High kick towards the outer wing. Bradley and Summerton out there too. Veterans of the SANFL. Should be a great contest as Bradley and Summerton go to ground. And the umpire comes in and says, we'll ball it up. Slightly on attacking side of centre for Port Adelaide.
That's well done by Andrew Bradley. I think Steve Summerton was almost goal side and out then, but such is his competitive nature, he was able to hold that in. That was terrific.
Frampton rucking and roving, gets the handball towards half forward. Chalmers was good to Snook. Bradley involved again, curls the kick back towards half back. Frampton took it at ground level, got it up to Snelling, and now Bonner with a high kick inside 50. Laddams there knocked away from him. Will go through for a behind. So 1 point each to start this final quarter. 2 minutes in. Margin back to 39 points in favour of the Tigers. That was the three-quarter time margin as Chalmers marks defensive 50. Goes short to half back. Not a good one though. Toumpas took it. Wheels around back to 50 and Johnson. Spent it before he had it, lost it, and now we wait on the umpire watching the play. Holding the ball is the call. Just who's at the bottom of the pack. Johnson dropped it. Diving in was the Glenelg player and Snook, and he's been pinned holding the ball. So Port got with a Snelling high kick from 60 towards the top of the goals. Laddams was up, knocked down. Ball in dispute at ground level. The pack comes in over the top. Ball up results 20 out from Port Adelaide's goal, and they've kept it in their zone, but only just Port Adelaide. And they need a couple of early goals to get themselves into this contest. Here's a chance perhaps for Barry. Couldn't quite pick up the loose footy. Snook again ridden into the ground. This time it's going to be a ball up. Underneath the scoreboard, which shows Glenelg 12-7-79, Port 5-10-40. 3.5 gone last quarter. Good work by Hewitt out of the pack, but it's taken there by Slade at the top of the defensive goal square. He comes out wide to Ubergang, and again Glenelg hold up well in defence as Ubergang will play on. Handballs over the top. Woolard with the kick towards defensive 50. Some run from Nicholson. Gets around his Port opponent, just handballs to Snook. He's bumped off it. Motlop comes in, gets it back up to Snook. Nicholson comes in to lend some support. His kick was smothered. Opens the door on the outer wing for Barry. Port work it round with handball. Hewitt on the end. Kicks towards 50. Not a great kick under pressure. Taken by Chalmers. And Glenelg a chance to clear as Motlop off half back. Launches a long kick towards half forward. Knocked down. Bonner away. Again, as we've so often seen throughout the afternoon, the half back line's the stumbling block for either side as Tumpus to Hewitt off a step back inside 50. Long kick, but a great defensive mark by Curran. This Glenelg defence has been wonderful as Curran pops it up to Bradley. Bradley off to Ubergang. He's at defensive 50. Comes clubroom wing side. Spots up and finds White. Again, great work in defence from the Tigers.
They have, and I think Port have just sort of played into their hands a little bit. They've gone long on their last few entries, and it just hasn't worked for them. And I think they need to honour the lead-ups, and as they did early on in the game where they were creating those opportunities. Unfortunately, they were kicking behinds, but I think they just need to lower their eyes and use the hit-ups rather than going long and kicking it back to intercept markers.
As Hosey's kicked to half forward, off hands, Wong gave to Morgan. He kicks back towards this clubroom wing. Port Adelaide have it. Farrell, high kick inside 50. Bouncing ball, Proud there. Laddams with him, Summonin as well. Chalmers comes through for the Tigers. Goes to ground. Umpire comes in, finds a high tackle. And he's tapping his shoulder enthusiastically just to work out which way it's going. Both players standing up. Is it going the way of Port Adelaide? I think it might be. It is. Well, the suspense almost killed us, but Laddams has got it.
I thought Pete Laddams actually made the tackle. And
that's how I saw it too. Yeah. That's how I saw it too. The tackle on Chalmers. So I was really unsure which way it was going. Laddams has it though. 20 out straight in front. Important kick in the context of the game. His side trailing by 39 points. 6 minutes into the final quarter. Laddams needs to kick a goal, but he puts it to the right and through for one behind. So the margin to 38 points now. And Glenelg breathe a sigh of relief, though they're still well in control of this contest as the kick out towards half-back. Hosey lurking. Ubergang, though, in front. Took the mark. Both, though, flew very high across half-back. As Ubergang brings it towards the clubroom side. Scott there with Ira. Ira determined fist towards half forward, taken by Slade. He's tackled by the player there in Morgan, who will win the free at half forward for Port Adelaide. They need to make some of these frees, though. Some of them count as they go inside 50. Laddams lurking, off hands, Proud at ground level. Couldn't take possession. Players pile in, ball shoots out. Summerton was good. It's a handball out in front of Pat Moore. Goes back there looking for Tumpus. He's tackled. And the ball up results 60 out from Port's goal. Glenelg just refusing to give Port any ground whatsoever. They'd lead by 38 points, the Tigers. Kluski has it. McCarthy went to tackle him. Kluski got a quick kick forward inside 50. Need, little give towards Barry. Barry with the left foot, kick on the goals, away to the left. Point result, 7.5 gone, final quarter. Glenelg 12-7-79, Port 5-12-42. As the Tigers to bring it in through Proud. They just won't even give Port one goal at the moment. The Tigers, as Ubergang up high, couldn't take the mark. Wong at ground level, got it out to Tumpus, to Barry. Always looks dangerous, but this time it's that man again, Proud, getting in the way and taking a good defensive mark. As you said, Robbie, not a huge amount of stats, probably about his 13th or 14th touch, but it's his presence and the 1%ers he can do in defence. It's been a very good game from him.
It's what he's been able to diffuse, you know, so situations which are dangerous, and he's been able to get in the way and be able to intercept mark and calm the situation down, which has been really important for Glenelg.
Well, Proud found Nicholson, who found Costa at half-back. Costa's long kick towards the wing sees a very nice mark taken here for the Tigers. Player came down pretty heavily. It's Ubergang. He's in the hands of the trainers at the moment. He's up on his haunches, which is good to see. But I think he perhaps knocked the wind out of himself. There's a blood rule being called for too, so he's going to come from the field. He looks okay though, not concussed or anything. But obviously with a bit of blood, he'll have to vacate Albion Oval. Time for a score check. 9 gone, final term. Glenelg 12-7-79, Port 5-12-42. A margin of 38 points. Still no goal in this quarter to either side. We've seen some pretty frenetic play. 37 points is in fact the margin as Ubergang will come from the field. Just looking there, not any sort of obvious blood that I can see, but there must be somewhere we replaced on the field out there. Or at least not his replacement, but the man who will take the kick will be Bailey on that outer wing position. So Bailey drives Glenelg towards half forward. Ball offhand, Scott couldn't pick it up. Ginniver could, umpire's whistle goes. Coming back here to Scott, he was infringed as he went for the ball, and he'll get the free 55 from goal. He loads up with the kick inside 50, Reynolds. Very good first half, a bit quieter in the third quarter, but a great mark there. And he can go back, and if he's successful, get the first goal for either side in this fourth quarter, Robbie.
That's right. He was sort of caught in between Snelling and Ginniver, and he just had the height advantage. And the kick from Scott got in there quickly too. Had a bit of penetration. There wasn't a lot of time for any other Port defenders to get across there and impact the contest. And Luke Reynolds drives it through for another one.
Reynolds kicks the goal, and Glenelg march further ahead. 43 points, game high 43-point lead. 13-7-85. Port 5-12-42. 11 gone final quarter, and dare I say it, Robbie, it'll be almost impossible to catch from here.
Absolutely, and I think just Port have wasted some opportunities going inside 50. I feel that they've just gone a little bit too long on occasions, and Glenelg have been able to get their numbers back. So it's actually worked against them there. I think they perhaps could have used the width of the oval a little bit more, used the arc, and gone forward a little bit lower.
That first goal thanks to Bone Timber, providing quality timber since 1919. A fifth-generation family business as Glenelg surge inside 50 again. Tumpus traps it, gets the handball out to Snelling, but the umpire didn't like the way he disposed of it, so it's going to be a free to the bays inside their 50 arc. I feel a bit of push off the ball between Tumpus and Hosey. Umpire Schramm just pushing everyone out, and the free kick's going to go the way of Reynolds again. So here's a chance for goal number 4. So Reynolds, a great start to this final two if he can bang this one through. And put the Tigers out to a 49-point lead. For goal number 4 to come, the leading goal scorer on the ground. He is a dead-eye Dick, Luke Reynolds. No doubt about that. 4 goals this afternoon. Glenelg 14-7-91. Port 5-12-42. 49 points to margin, 12.5 gone last quarter. Enjoy it, Glenelg fans, because you're going to win one at Alberton this afternoon.
Well, another pressure act leads to a Glenelg goal, so absolutely fantastic. And I think from Glenelg's perspective, there's just going to be such a collective of goals that they kicked on the back of some terrific pressure and some really good tackling going forward. So this could be a real important game just to continue to nourish this group moving forward. So it's been a terrific effort today by Glenelg. 4
to Reynolds, 3 to Scott, 3 to Hosey in terms of the goals. Between them, they've scored 10 of Glenelg's 14 as Port come to half forward. Awkward bounce for everyone. Shot took it nicely, gave to Proud. Defence of the 50, he finds Scharenberg, who handballs off to Chalmers, who kicks from half back towards the wing. Reynolds diving in there. Got it out to Hawkins, back to Shot. Now Snook to Shot again. His kick smothered by Klusky. Bouncing football. Bailey couldn't take it. Hawkins could. Ridden into the ground. Still tight and tough from both sides. Snelling to Laddams. Almost a basketball bounce there from Laddams. Got it to Johnson. Back to Laddams, now Snelling at half forward. Little handball to Toumpas at 50. Toumpas settles. Toumpas fires on the goal. And I tell you what, Jimmy has kicked a very nice goal for Port Adelaide. Jimmy Toumpas off a step from just inside 50, gets his first, Port sixth. They go to 6-12-48, Port. Glenelg 14-7-91. 14 gone fourth quarter, and a bit of individual skill there for Toumpas as he gets his first.
Now, Jimmy Toumpas, he's been one of Port's best today. That was a fantastic kick at goal, but Glenelg was still putting some pressure on. What happened was, I think one Port player drew about 4 Glenelg players into the congestion. They were able to get the ball on the outside, and Toumpas was able to link on and have that shot at goal. So probably went against the run of play a little bit, but Port will take every goal they can get at the moment, and hopefully if they can get another 3 or 4, they could hopefully make a bit of a game going into the final stages.
From the restart, Hewitt to Kluski. He was tackled. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Snoot got the handball off to White, who punts Glenelg inside 50, and it's Reynolds leaping high and taking the grab. And he's having a real purple patch at the moment, Luke Reynolds. It'll be interesting to see in about, I guess we've got about another 5 or so minutes before we see the player spotlight for the quarter. 15 gone in this final quarter, but Reynolds would definitely be one of the favourites to win it, especially if he kicks this goal from about 40 out straight in front for his 5th for this afternoon. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and now 3 in the final term has seen Reynolds kick 5. Glenelg 15-7, 98, an even 50-point lead. Port 6-12, 48, 15 and a half gone last quarter, and the Glenelg supporters, are they enjoying this?
And so they should. The team has been absolutely fantastic today. And Luke Reynolds and Glenelg I feel they just had too many players who can impact the game aerially today, and with Scott and Hosey and Reynolds, who's kicked 5. So it was just a quick kick inside 50 from Jesse White, and Luke Reynolds just read it best. It dropped, and he's got sure hands and an absolutely dead-eye kick. So fantastic play by Luke Reynolds.
As Glenelg again get the clearing kick towards half forward, and Reynolds again has taken the grab for the Tigers. No one can stop him. Again, he's taken them all about 40, 45 out straight in front, and he'll go back and line up for what will be his 4th of the quarter and 6th of the game. Reynolds from just inside 50 with that left boot. He's nailed it. Luke Reynolds 4 for this final quarter, 6 for the game. Port Adelaide 16-7. Glenelg 16-7, 103. Port 6-12, 48. 17 gone final quarter. If Luke Reynolds doesn't win the hotspot player, I'll be very surprised. But there you go. 4 goals in the quarter, 6 for the game.
And both of those marks have come from dump kicks, pretty much from centre clearances, and they haven't been easy to mark, and they've been under pressure. So it wasn't as if he was by himself and took an uncontested mark. He's been under heavy pressure, and that was fantastic, and his kicking's been absolutely spot on today, and he's rewarded Glenelg tenfold.
Here we go again, White inside 50. No, our Manuel Era this time gets in front, and he's away with some dash. Has a bounce, stops, props, shot, almost run him down. In the end, Era will get the kick away and find Johnson right in front of the interchange gates. Aidan Johnson with the footy. Port looking a bit shell-shocked. They trail by 55 points. The kick towards half forward. Patmore over the top to Snelling. Inside 50, flying high. Farrell off hands, out of play. Throw in right forward pocket. 18 gone, final term. Glenelg's season very much still alive. Port Adelaide, well, I think they'll probably join Adelaide as the 2 sides you can put a line through, with 4 weeks left in the season after this week. 4 rounds left. Ubergang was up high in the ruck in the process. He's given away the free, and it will come back here to Big Laddams. So maybe some respite for Port Adelaide, and Laddams a chance perhaps to kick a goal, which would be his first for this afternoon.
This has been the area he's really need to practice over time. John, having worked with Pete quite a bit, but when he does miss, he sort of misses to the right.
As this is a wobbly kick, and it was heading right and hit the post. As Farrell has come off the ground after flying high for that contest, he looked all right, just came off in the arms of the trainers. Probably just to get a check. That point to Laddams sees the margin to 54 points. 19 gone final term. As McCarthy's deep in defence for the Tigers, he goes short to Proud. And it's still in that right back pocket area. The kick out towards half back, where a good mark's taken by Chalmers, but unfortunately for him, he was over the line. Need will take the free, looking for Toompas. He took the mark at 50. Here's the voice of Frampton running down, and the big man takes the grab. 45 out, straight in front. And he'll go back confidently. Frampton's hit one today for Port Adelaide. This will probably test his distance. Crowd demanding he takes the shot. And he's going to do so. So Frampton from just outside 50. That's a lovely kick from Big Frampton. Nice mark, nice goal. And Port get there first. They go to, of the term, they go to 7-13-55. Well, their second is in fact Glenelg 16-7-103. 20 minutes gone in this final quarter, and the player spotlight there for Glider Roll, providing state-of-the-art garage doors for over 40 years. No surprise, Luke Reynolds, 4 goals, 3 marks, 4 kicks in this term. He has been awesome.
And Billy Frampton's been very good for Port Adelaide as well, hasn't he, Johnny? That's his second goal. He's had 17 disposals, and he's been fantastic in the ruck, and he's moved around the ground really well. Very impressive.
No, wonderful goal from Frampton. As Glenelg go forward again, Reynolds was up. As another opportunity coming through, Hosey couldn't take it. Geneva grabbed it, banged it on the boot, back to half back, where Nicholson takes the mark for the Tigers. Waste no time, long kick towards the top of the goals. Flying high, Reynolds couldn't grab it. Hosey got the handball back. Costa didn't get a good bounce. And the ball up will result. It's about 35 out from the Tigers' goal. Hosey was up in the ruck, won it down. Snelling couldn't take it. Reynolds is still lurking. Again, Snelling, second opportunity, got it up to Ira. Ira's handball to Kluski. Now some run from Johnson. Johnson's kick towards the wing position. It's a nice mark, though, by Curran. Glenelg can attack again, and they do so here through Proud. He pops it up. McCarthy's got it. Middle of Albert and Overley goes short to Shot. Shot just hooks it over the top, finds the run there of Hawkins. Hawkins' long kick inside 50, knocked down by the Port defence. Frampton there, chance to get a handball out. He does so to Kluski. Now Summerton pops it up to Patmore, and Port have it at defensive 50. Patmore wants to get on with things. Why not? Kicks to Laddams, barrels past the big man onto the grandstand wing, picked up by Curran. He hooks it back, high ball for Chalmers. He sits, waits, drops it, pressured by Need at ground level. He knocked it out in the end. It may come off as Woolard. Handball's back towards Proud. Proud goes short to Bradley. Right in the middle of Albert and Oval. Bradley looks up, assesses his options, goes short to Woolard. Woolard slips, and he will now have to stop and go back and take his kick. He does so. Reynolds on the lead at 50, couldn't take it under pressure. Toompas was good, and Port should clear. Little give over the top to Bonner. And he gets a high kick back towards half forward, where a good mark is taken by Need. Need at 50. Long kick towards the goals. Bounces through. Great goal, Jake Need. Was in a couple of great goals. Now the pressure's off, dare I say, for Port, for Frampton and Need. They go to 16-7-103. That is Glenelg. Port Adelaide now go to 8-13-61. 23 gone, but again, a nice little bit of individual brilliance there from Need.
Yeah, it was, and yeah, he's had a reasonably quiet day for his standards, Jakey Need. He's worked hard though, and it's been a difficult situation, especially this quarter. He's dealt with a lot of Glenelg numbers around, which has been hard for a small forward. But no, a fantastic finish, and you just showed his immense talent on that occasion.
Back in the middle, Glenelg well and truly in control despite the goals to Frampton and Need. It's a 42-point lead to the Tigers, and they've deserved this win. As the umpire restarts things, one down by White. Frampton took it. Big Port ruckman held well in the tackle. Ball up results. 24 gone, last quarter. White again wins in the ruck. Stalemate though, results at ground level. And umpire Schramm comes in, says, "I'll have it, thanks boys." So I think players from both sides starting to really feel it now. It's been a pretty quick-moving, fast game as the kick towards half-forward from Snelling, chopped off by Chalmers to McCarthy. Nicholson now kicks down the wing and finds Costa. Costa's kick to half-forward, trying to trap it there. McCarthy, he did well in the end but was tackled. Just got the handball out but ran out of room in the process. And the umpires found a free. Glenelg fans aren't happy about it, but it's going back here to Davidson.
I think it's the last possession.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Robbie. That was it. It was the last possession, and it was always there. But even though they're leading by some 7 goals, Glenelg fans not over the moon about the decision. Port have it, though, inside defence to 50 through Bonner, who finds Barry. Had a quiet one against his former club. He goes short to Klusky. Port work it round to halfback again. Barry in possession to Hewitt, and now Bonner showing some trademark dash off halfback. He's caught though. Wobbly kick, bouncing football. Mead tapped it to Wong, back to Mead, to Toumpas now. Toumpas over the top to Wong at half forward. Nice little chip kick finds Summerton inside 50. He pops it up, and Farrell, who's back on the ground after taking a knock earlier in the quarter in the marking contest. He's got it though about 35 out, pretty much straight in front. The side trailing by 42 points, 26 gone final quarter. Farrell, who kicked 2 in the second quarter, looking to keep the run of Magpie goals going, and he does just that. So goals to Frampton, Mead and Farrell, adding a touch of respectability to the scoreboard here at Alberton as Port 9-13-67, Glenelg 16-7-103. 26 and a half gone last quarter, and Farrell, he's been in and out, a bit like some of his teammates today, but 3 goals for the afternoon. He's Port's leading goal scorer.
Yeah, that was right, and look, they were able to get that sort of fortuitously. It wasn't was a pressured kick coming in from Riley Bonner. Some great tackling pressure from Carl Nicholson. So, no, a really good finish. And Port Adelaide, well, they've got about another minute, you'd suspect, to see if they can get another.
And they might do it here as Johnson with the kick from the centre. Inside 50 over Farrell's head. And Chalmers happy to take the grab in defence. Goes short and finds Slade, defence of 50. Slade now towards half back. Johnson there knocks it away from the Glenelg player in Sawford, out of bounds, throw in the result. Still in Port Adelaide's half of the ground. But right half forward, pretty much on the arc of 50, the ruckman will be when the footy comes back into play. It's going to be Frampton and White. White wins this one down. Hewitt took it. He was well tackled. Ball up again, the result 55 from Port's goal. 36-point lead to the Tigers. And there is the final siren. So Glenelg have got the job done in pretty emphatic style. Apart from that late run of goals to Port, it could have been a much bigger margin, but in the end, Port went down by 36 to a deserved winner in Glenelg, 16-7-103 to Port 9-13-67. Just repeating the final margin there of 36 points. So well done to the Tigers as their song from Tigerland beats out across Alberton Oval. And they'll certainly enjoy that. As we look at the goal scorers for the two sides in a moment, as just update that score there with that behind after the siren. 9-14-68 to 16-7 103. 35 points is the margin in the end. The behind after siren. 35 points is the margin to the Tigers as they score that victory. We look at the goal scorers now, starting with the home side, as we mentioned there. Farrell leading the way for Port Adelaide with 3. Frampton has 2. And then we see singles to Need, Tompus, Patmore and Morgan. They are the goal scorers for Port Adelaide. 3 to Farrell, 2 to Frampton. And they were the leading ones, while for Glenelg, a very impressive performance by the Tigers. Some key forwards really playing a big part in the victory for Glenelg in Reynolds, Scott and Hosey. But in the end, the Glenelg leading goal scorers, thanks to the Telstra store there at Glenelg, your local store for all your tech needs. For Glenelg, it was Reynolds with 6. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and 4 in that final term. Scott with 3 and Hosey with 3. Singles then to Bailey, Rubergang, Costa and Nicholson. So a 35-point win to Glenelg in the end. And a strong performance by the Tigers. Port fought it out, but in the end, Glenelg certainly deserved the victory. Probably a bit cleaner going inside 50 at crucial times, and certainly a bit more accurate in front of goal, Robbie.
Absolutely, and it'll be an interesting one in review. You know, Matty Lowe can look at it, and they'd won the statistics in most areas, and probably the one where Glenelg controlled the game, especially after quarter time, was marks, and especially in that last quarter, they're able to keep possession and use the free. They rolled one back behind the ball often enough. When the ball went forward for them, they were able to generate a free in defence in case there was any slingshot action, and they did really well today, Glenelg, and Port will review that and probably look at their methodology sort of going forward inside 50. First of all, would have been shots at goal in the first quarter, and that's probably stuff that individuals needs to continue to work on. But then perhaps their methodology after half time, I felt that they probably kicked it a little long inside 50 and invited some intercept marks, and for players like Slade to impact, and the Maxi Proud also, especially late in the game. They read the ball really well and were able to settle things down, and that's, as a coach, that's what you try to, when you reflect on how many marks were the opposition able to take inside your forward 50 area and repel attacks, and you probably look for other methods of going inside 50 to ensure you get your shots on goal. Certainly you would, and in the end, 35 points that final mark. You got some stats there, Robbie, for the two sides. Absolutely. Well, with disposals, it's 328 to 311 in favour of Port Adelaide. Handballs is 130 to 114. Marks 89 to 114 in favour of Glenelg, and they controlled the ball very well, especially in that last quarter. Tackles was 55 to 35 in favour of Port Adelaide. And hit-outs 43 to 30. Pete Ladhams was really good today. Jesse White shouldered most of the ruck work for Glenelg and played a really good role, and he was pretty much up against two blokes all day. Yeah. And he shouldered the role really well as the lone ruckman on most occasions for the Bays. And inside 50s was 52 to 41. So that's probably where Port Adelaide will spend a fair bit of time reviewing just their methodology going forward, and perhaps their choice of kicks in using players forward of the ball. So that was interesting enough. But individually, Port Adelaide also had, I think, the top 4 possession winners on the oval, and with Tompus, Snelling, Summerton and Hewitt all having 28 or more disposals, with Nicholson with 25 and a goal for Glenelg, and Shot, Hawkins and Chalmers were also possession winners for the Bays, but they were just consistent across the board. Port Adelaide probably had players who, the top 5 or 6 possession winners on the oval, but probably between their